Hey there, fabulous book lovers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited. We're going to be doing some live question and answers. I actually dropped this in my straight team earlier today, and there was one question I wanted to jump on and answer for you live. So if you are joining me live, hello, thank you so much. And if you're watching our rebroadcast, thank you so much for joining us. I would love to invite you to join us over on my Facebook page, facebook.com/KMRobinsonBooks, where I will be doing these live broadcasts frequently, so that you can interact with me as well as just watch these videos. So if you're watching the rebroadcast, thanks for taking the time, and I would love to invite you to join me live. So I had a couple of quick questions that I was asked this morning. I want to talk about one of those today, but real quick, I want to do a little housekeeping and let you know that Golden is now on Goodreads. So you can check that out if you aren't live with me right now. That is up in the title. You can click on the link there and go over and add it to your want to watch list. And hey, thanks for joining. If you are joining me in the rebroadcast, the link for Goodreads will be down in the show notes below. So go ahead, take a look. I hope that you're interested, and if you have questions, leave them for me right now in the comment box if you're live, or you can leave them in the comment box on the rebroadcast, and I will take time to answer those a little bit later on. So here we go. Let me answer one of those questions that I got earlier this morning. Charlotte wanted to know what my writing process is like, and specifically she wants to know, is there some kind of word count that I am aiming for every single day? Is there some kind of drink that I have to have as I'm writing? And I'm going to get a little bit in depth into what I do for you right now. So I do not have a word count that I aim for every day. I typically average about 7,000 words a day, but that's not always true. There are some days when I have a little more time to write and I get a lot more, and there are some times when I'm really, really busy and I get a lot less. So 7,000 is my typical word count for the day, but it really just depends on the day's schedule. I do not necessarily have a drink. I'm actually pretty terrified of liquids being near my computer, so I do not allow liquids near any of my technology. So whether it's my camera or my computer or my tablets, whatever it is, liquids stay very far away. So I'll have like a side table that I will put that on, or I will keep that out in the kitchen and I will make myself get up and walk to it. So I don't have anything that's kind of like a comfort drink or a comfort food while I'm eating. I just kind of focus in. I do not listen to music while I'm writing because that distracts me. So if I'm editing photos, I'm a professional photographer. I am all about listening to music, watching TV, whatever. But if I'm writing, it's gotta be quiet so I can keep my focus. Otherwise I get distracted and I start singing and it's just kind of not productive for me. So I keep it very quiet. But there is a very specific way I lay out my computer that I kind of want to tell you about. So as I am writing, I have 3 windows open on my screen. The first document is my manuscript over on the left side of my screen, which I think is your left right now. And in the middle, I keep a running tab of what's happening within the story. So it's kind of like a bullet point of what's going on within the chapters as I'm writing. And then the last screen over on the right side is going to be my character list. So whenever I add a new character or I add a detail about that character, I put it on the list so that I can reference it. So anytime I give a character an eye color or a hair color, or if there's a specific word that they always say, if there's something about their background that I mention, if there's something that they do, if there's a hobby that they like, if they have different habits, I list all of those within my character log so that I can go back and reference that later, whether it's something I'm writing within that particular manuscript or something I'm going to be using later on in the follow-up book. So that is definitely one way that I lay out my computer screen, and I always have it like that so that I don't get confused, and that blocks out everything else. I can't see anything else on my computer screen. I just have that particular information, and that keeps me pretty focused. Now, I will say that I use an editing tablet, which is not at all what you think it is, because it has nothing to do with the writing world. My editing tablet is actually something we use within the photography world. So it is a rectangle that sits next to your computer, and you take a pen, which acts like your mouse. So instead of using the trackpad on my laptop, or instead of connecting some kind of mouse to it, I use my editing tablet, and that really saves my wrists. Over the years, I've damaged them pretty good, and it really helps me to move around on the screen very easily. So this is something I use specifically for my photos, but I actually use it in every area of my life. I do not work on my computer without having that plugged in. So if you actually jump onto my Instagram stories, which you can find at Instagram.com, and it is at KM Robinson Books. So on all social media platforms, it's at KM Robinson Books. I'm actually going to be doing an Instagram story about my editing tablet. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, how it works, how I work with it. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be posting about it yet because I have not created it yet, but it will be on there a little bit later today. I'm going to give you that in-depth look because this is something that is not typically used within the book industry, and I feel like everybody should be using this. This is actually something I tell my authors about all the time over on Reading Transforms, which is my educational platform for authors. So I will be giving you that behind-the-scenes, in-depth look at what this editing tablet is. I'm going to be giving you the name, the specifications on the model, and we're going to be talking about how I use that within my businesses, both my photography and my book world stuff, and how it really impacts how I'm working and how much easier it makes my life. So if you would like to look at my editing tablet, I'm showing that off today on Instagram Stories. And remember, with Instagram Stories, it only lasts for 24 hours. So if you want to see it, you got to get yourself over there so that you can check it out. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait until the next time I talk about this editing tablet, which honestly is the coolest thing ever and the thing that I could not live without. So, Charlotte, thank you so much for your question. I really appreciate it. I cannot wait to answer more of these. Make sure if you are live with me or if you are watching this rebroadcast that you are leaving me comments to let me know what you want to know about. I know that this is brand new for all of us. This is actually my very first live video on Facebook on this particular platform, so I broadcast a lot through Reading Transforms and through my photography and through some other platforms, but this is the first one for my author brand. So you guys are getting used to me within this format. So let me know what you want to see from me. I know you don't know a ton about the book yet. If you go on that Goodreads link up in the title if you're live or in the show notes below if you are on my rebroadcast, that will tell you more about Golden, which is part of my Golden trilogy and it is a Goldilocks retelling. And then from my Goodreads page, you can also see my second series, which is coming out, the first book in June. So you can learn a little bit about that as well. So leave me questions about my author journey, leave me questions about my books, leave me questions about literally anything. I will answer as much as I can. So if you want to talk about, photography or fashion or whatever, let me know. I'm happy to talk about those. And let me know what you want to see from me within these live broadcasts, within my Instagram stories, within my behind the scenes information over on our blog, and in the different interviews and things that we are doing over in my author brand. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to jump into this with you guys. I have some amazing surprises, and if you have not joined my newsletter yet, make sure you do. You get a sample of my book. So you get an excerpt from Golden, and there are some bonus surprises, which some people are actually going to be getting today. They're probably going to start talking about it. It's really, really amazing. I'm so excited. I think you're going to freak out when you see my third email on my newsletter because it's really that cool. And it's something that's just kind of coming to the book world industry, and we are all over it. I'm so excited. Cannot wait to show you. So you can get on to that newsletter and get that excerpt by going to excerpt.kmrobinsonbooks.com, or you can jump over to newsletter.kmrobinsonbooks.com, and you can check it out there, sign up for that. You can get all my fabulous freebies and the amazing things that are coming from this newsletter. Cannot wait for you to join me. And I will also be dropping the link to my street team in the comments below. You can go ahead and join us over in the Robin's Nest. I'm doing some really cool behind the scenes things. These people will have first access to my advanced copies of my books, and some really amazing extra bonuses and prizes and events and contests and time to hang out with me. We're going to do some live question and answers specifically within that group. So I hope you'll join us. That's going to be in the comments below. Thank you so much. I am KM Robinson, author of Golden, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Stay inspired.